Hey guys, Simone Fan 101 here, and I'm sorry for the poor lighting, but I'm recording in my room right now, and my fan light is currently being a complete douche. So I don't know exactly, because I have a lamp here, my TV on, but obviously it's dark in here. So hang on, let me try some real quick. Just a little bit. Uh, Hang on, a little bit less. That'll work. Anyways, this is my Payback review. Um, Obviously I'm still sick. Tomorrow night is Backlash, the SmackDown pay-per-view, and I want to get this pay-per-view review done before tomorrow night's show. And hopefully review the I want to review the UK show that aired last night, which was awesome. But I just wanted to get the show out of the way. So let's go. Opening match, and this might be a quicker review than normal because of my hurried recording, I don't have the stats on me, so I'm just going off pure memory here. Um, the opening match was Kevin Owens defending the United States Championship against Chris Jericho. Um, Overall, it was a pretty good match. Not as good as the WrestleMania match, but still a pretty good match between these two. Some good spots here and there. Chris Jericho worked on Kevin Owens' finger because if you recall, in previous matches, including the WrestleMania match, Kevin Owens would use just a finger or two fingers to grab the bottom rope, either for a pinfall or a submission. Um, and So what Chris Jericho did, he took the steel steps and slammed them into Kevin Owens' hand, so that way he would not be able to do that. Like I said, guys, still sick. Anyways, Kevin Owens tried go for a pop-up powerbomb, but his hand was too hurt. So Chris Jericho hit a code breaker, I believe, and then I know he didn't get the pin because Chris Jericho won this match with the Walls of Jericho. He made Owens tap out. Owens tried to reach the ropes, but his hand was too hurt to truly reach far, so he tapped out. Um, it was a WTF kind of moment. Like nobody expected Jericho to win, but on one hand, he did go to SmackDown. So, and even though he's out touring with Fozzy right now, he'll be back. Don't worry, he'll be back. Um, so, and I didn't really mind this too much because that means that SmackDown got another big star, even though he's out right now. Then the next match we had the Cruiserweight title match between Austin Aries and Neville. Neville being the champion. This was a good match. Not as good as the WrestleMania match again, but still a good match. So same story. It would have been better if not for the finish. Because as good as this match was, the finish did kind of bump it down a point or two. So what happened was Austin Aries had the last chancery on Neville. Neville was reaching for the ropes, but he couldn't do it. So he kept on grabbing the referee. And the second time, and the first time he grabbed the referee got out of it. The second time, Neville, he grabbed the referee and threw him over himself and Aries, basically to cause a disqualification, so that way Neville could keep his title. Heel move by Neville, and again, but then the ending of the match, it left a lot to be desired. Hopefully, the match between Aries and Neville has some kind of stipulation, has some kind of gimmick, like a ladder match of sorts, at Extreme Rules. I'd hate for them to have just another singles match, another straight up singles match. This one has to have some kind of stipulation. And being it's at Extreme Rules, and who these guys are, I would suspect a ladder match would do very good. That's my pick. You could, I mean, because they're already going to do an Extreme Rules match probably for the 5-way match as of announced. I believe it was this week. It was announced. They're going to do a 5-way Extreme Rules Pack Challenge match. So give Neville and Aries a ladder match. There's been ladder matches in the past at Extreme Rules. Christian and Del Rio was one. Until unforeseen circumstances happened, Ziggler, Swagger, and Del Rio was going to be another one. But yeah, ladder matches have existed in the past Extreme Rules. Edge and Jeff Hardy. There's one right there. But with that said, what do I think of the what do I think of the match? I thought it was a good match. There wasn't anything too memorable about it, but it was not bad. I will say that it was not bad. Just not among the best. Next match was the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship match. Now this match was more memorable. Really good match between the champions, the Hardys, and Cesaro and Sheamus, who are the challengers here. Really good match between these two. These guys worked very well. Various spots from each side really worked. I forget too many of the spots. Again, I'm going off pure memory here. But the match itself was really good. It was the second best match of the night, in my view. Jeff Hardy. Okay, so here's what happened. Sheamus was taken out at some point. Matt Hardy went for a move on Sheamus. Sheamus hit not a pile driver, but like a bulldog slam kind of. He countered into a bulldog slam, and it had him pinned. Although he didn't know that Matt was not the legal man. Jeff was, because he snuck in a tag. And Jeff Hardy went up top, hit the Swanton Bomb on Sheamus for the win. Now, this was a really good match. Partially what made this match was the post-match. Cesaro and Sheamus, in previous singles matches, shook hands with the Hardys. Even though there was a little bit of a dissension, and at the end of the Jeff Hardy Cesaro match a week before this. But yeah, you had dissension between the two, and again, they shook hands at the end of the match and left the ring. Hardys went up top on the turnbuckles to celebrate. Then Cesaro and Sheamus turned heel by attacking the Hardy Boys, specifically Jeff, who they wrapped around the steel ring post, Cesaro did, and Sheamus hit him in the back with a brogue kick, pushing Jeff forward, I believe shoulder first, maybe arm first, I don't know. Overall, really good match and good post-match. It does sadden me to think that Cesaro is a heel instead of a babyface. But if you think about it, Cesaro's been a face for 2 years now. You could say that he needed a change, but Sheamus wasn't even a face for that long. If you really think about it, Sheamus was a face he slowly burned into a face turn, because at Night of Champions last year, he was the heel, Cesaro was the face. Then the next month, they were basically unwilling tag team partners. It wasn't until about Survivor Series and after that Sheamus was more and more into a face. But so if you really think about it, Sheamus was only really a face for about 6-7 months. Not that long. Then again, Sheamus generally works better as a heel. Then you had Bayley and Alexa Bliss. Bayley defending the WWE Women's title against Alexa Bliss. I thought this was a good match. Probably the best match Alexa Bliss has had on the main roster, or probably the best one she's had yet. Um, now now this match again was pretty good, much like the Aries Neville match. Not too many memorable spots. It was just good in ring wrestling. That's all I can really say. Good in ring wrestling equals a good match. The ending of the match, I gotta say, was actually kind of creative. Bayley went for normal moves. The savage elbow, which actually looked pretty savage. It looked awesome here for whatever reason. Maybe because how Alexa Bliss is so short, she sold it like death. After, so what happened was, Bayley, Alexa was gonna attack Bayley in the corner. Bayley countered into a pin, but then Alexa kicked out. What happened was Bayley's head hit the ring post. Because she went through the bottom of the ropes and into the ring post head first, and then Alexa took advantage, hit the DDT, and got the win. Alexa is your new WWE Raw Women's Champion. I gotta say, they put over Alexa pretty strong here. She didn't win dirty. She got a relatively clean win, which is good for Alexa. Hopefully she drops the title to Sasha Banks, so that way Banks can eventually feud with Bayley, and we can finally get the feud between the two. Now as far as the match, the match again, it was a good match. Though I do, maybe it's just me. Maybe I have too high expectations, but I feel like they can do better. I really do. And hopefully this kendo stick on a pole match that's happening at Extreme Rules exceeds previous expectations. I hope. Then we come to shit. Or what WWE called the House of Horrors match. Basically shit. This match sucked. Straight up. This match sucked balls. It sucked balls, donkey chode, and balls. A lot of balls were exchanged in this match. Probably for the worse. Basically, this to me felt like an attempt to resurrect the previous Boiler Room Brawl gimmick, although in a different form. I didn't like this. It was goofy. It was campy. It was supposed to be horror themed, which I guess they got that part down right. But other than that, the House of Horrors segment, this match was a match of. This was two halves of a match. One half was the House of Horrors segment. One half was in the ring. That much sucked worse. At least the first half of the match was enjoyable on a comically bad level. It's like enjoying Batman and Robin because of how extraordinarily retarded and stupid it is. It's basically the first part of the House of Horrors match with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. The WWE title was not in the line here. Wyatt and basically invited Orton to his house, which was filled with things that were supposed to scare Orton, but come on. Dolls hanging from the ceiling? Nah. If you want to go House of Horrors, go all out. Go chainsaws. Give us gory looking shit. Give us something hardcore. Give us something similar to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's what I was looking for here. We didn't get that. Hang on. Sorry. We didn't get that here. Instead, we got a horror film for younger kids. And they basically fought. Randy Orton threw a fridge on Bray Wyatt. No. Bray Wyatt threw a fridge on Randy Orton. And there was a moment where both of them were laying down by the sink, like the kitchen sink. And I'll bet you, and that image was just perfect because it looks like they're both like telling themselves, "What the hell are we doing here? Why are we doing this?" If there's any compliment I have to give to this match is that Randy Orton actually wore pants instead of wearing the normal wrestling tights. Because if you notice, some people when they come out for a promo, they wear pants. When for whatever reason, they wear normal clothes, but for whatever reason, Randy Orton always comes out in his tights, which makes you wonder, does he wear his wrestling tights when he's home? That's just weird. Anyway, Randy, basically what happened, he got the shit kicked out of him. Bray Wyatt stole his limo that Orton arrived in and told him to go to the arena. I thought he was going to say something else for whatever reason. And here's the thing: even though this was supposed to take place, I think in Ohio, they shot this in California. So the shading and the lack of sunlight really kind of made this look bad, and not bad, but like it made it look amateur, so to speak. Which, when you think WWE, you don't think amateur. You think TNA, Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, NXT even, sometimes. Not the main roster, WWE. That's sad. So, we basically had a match between the House of Horrors match. House of Horrors. It should have been a House of Horrors. At least I would have been excited. Like, below the belt. Anyways, next we had a match, the best match of the night, between Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe. There are some people who thought this match was boring, but some people don't. But this was a slow-paced match. Again, slow pace does not make it bad. Sometimes it's good. It built psychology. That's what this match did. This was a great match, best match of the night. It wasn't flashy, I'll say that. There was a lot of selling, I think from Rollins, still some selling from the knee, but Samoa Joe basically just wanted to beat the hell out of Rollins. Some counters. And if I recall correctly, I know Seth Rollins won the match, but if I recall correctly, he won on like a cradle, like barely beating Joe. So to show us that the feud was not over. If it wasn't for Braun Strowman's injury, most likely Rollins would have faced Joe in some kind of a gimmick match, maybe a last man standing match at Extreme Rules. Sucks we won't get that match, but what can you do? Best match of the night. So far, Joe's best match on the main roster. Although I hope that Joe will get better on the main roster, because it seems like he's been a little bit disappointed on the main roster. Like, he's not going fully all out. Partially because he probably doesn't have an opportunity to. Remember my Fastlane review when I said that his match with Zayn only went like 9 minutes or so? Like a little less than 10 minutes? Yeah, you can't do a lot in that amount of time, even with great wrestlers. That only rarely happens. So, Joe, getting a great match here and getting time even was good for him. Then we cut back to the House of Horrors match between Orton and Wyatt. Wyatt, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but he walked in the back, and for whatever reason, he got a full entrance. Why, I don't know. Why did he get a full entrance made? You know what I think? I think the only reason he got a full entrance was so that they could kill time. When the lights went out and Bray Wyatt extinguished his little candle holder there, Orton came in the ring, thankfully wearing his pants. If he was wearing his tights, I would have just said, screw this. And Orton proceeded to treat Bray Wyatt like a job guy. He beat the shit out of him. He hit a draping DDT from the announce table to the floor. And when he was going for the RKO, he was going to go for the RKO, I know it. Then the Singh brothers came in, the former Bollywood boys, to attack him. Orton hit an RKO on one, he hit the scoop slam on another, and then Jinder Mahal came in, and this was around that time, the 1 week period where Jinder Mahal stole the WWE title from Orton. He hit Orton twice in the back with the title. If he was going to hit Orton with the title, which I'm glad he did, because it's actually been a while since someone got hit with a title. The last time, he should have hit him in the head. I know why they didn't, but come on. Orton easily could have put his hands up. Anyways, And then Bray Wyatt hit Sister Abigail and got the win. So yes, Bray Wyatt won possibly the worst WWE match of the year. This match was a dud. It sucked. So Wyatt, not only did he win the worst match of the year, but he also didn't win clean whatsoever. He couldn't even win this match by himself. He had to have Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers win it for him. Bray Wyatt, I'm afraid, is dead. I mean, they keep building this guy up just to be torn down. Whenever he does get a win, half the time it's not even legitimate. I think the only real legitimate big win he ever got in his career was the Elimination Chamber match. I think that's the biggest we're ever going to get when it comes to Bray Wyatt. Main event was Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. Of course, Roman Reigns main events. This was the match of Strowman. Strowman dominated this match. Reigns got some offense in, but this was basically Strowman's destruction of Roman Reigns, and we all loved it. This match was really good. Not great, but it was a pretty good match. Reigns could not defeat Strowman. This is after Reigns' attack from the ambulance and everything that Strowman destroyed him. And Strowman dominated here. This was what the Fastlane match should have been. A monster trying to defeat the babyface, who in this case was the underdog, even though thinking Roman Reigns like an underdog is not something I usually think of. And beating the underdog. Beating him. Clean. Not Roman Reigns getting a win out of sheer luck or sheer will. No, Reigns losing. I'm glad Strowman finally got his win back. It sucks because Strowman is now injured for what WWE says is 6 months. I don't buy it, but he's still hurt, legitimately. So Strowman then came in after the match, because Strowman won the match. He won with a running power slam. It was I keep thinking running bulldog. Now earlier when I said in the the tag team match between Cesaro, Sheamus, and the Hardys, Sheamus got like a midair bulldog. No, he got a midair power slam. I'm thinking bulldog because that's the finisher British Bulldog used to use, a running power slam. That's where I got that from. So anyways, after Strowman beat Reigns with a running power slam, he then proceeded to destroy Roman Reigns by ramming him through steel steps and hell. Basically taking the steel steps and basically taking it from the height that Strowman is at, how tall he is, and hitting Roman Reigns repeatedly in the ribs for it. That was an awesome visual. Of course, they slightly ruined it when Strowman tried to attack Reigns backstage when he was in the ambulance, and Reigns proceeded to attack him. And Strowman was like, "I'm not done with you yet, Roman." And then he runs himself into the ambulance door. That to me was a little goofy. But aside from the post-show, I got to admit, this was a pretty good pay-per-view ending angle. So overall, pretty good show. I'm sorry if the review was not great in the way of detail, but keep in mind my limited ability at the present moment. So yeah, the pay-per-view was pretty good. The fucking House of Horrors match aside. Next time, guys, I will see you with my I'm going to take a day off. Or not a day off, but I will see you with my Payback review next time. And then I'll jump on the NXT TakeOver shows. Have a good day. Peace.